What's up, guys? Your boy Star back here today with another video, and today I'd like to make my E3 2018 predictions, and I want to go through each conference, think what's going to be there, what could be announced, what could be revealed, all that. When E3 does happen, I will be making videos, possibly just one video, one big video talking about each conference, talking about what they did right, what they did wrong. Whatever gets announced, I will talk about it uh, after E3. Um, but as of right now, I'm gonna go ahead, break down for each conference what could be announced and what possibly could be showed off. First up, Sony conference. They haven't announced their time yet. I think it's safe to say we can expect gameplay, official gameplay, to be revealed for The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. This may be a reach, but I would go as far as to say Death Stranding as well. Maybe a story trailer so we can get a bit of understanding of what went on the last time we seen it. I would say From Software's new IP, that was hinted. I think it was at PSX last year. Yeah, I think they may have teased that with the Shadows Die Twice teaser. Uh, New gameplay from Spider-Man. I expect to see that off. Maybe another trailer along with the gameplay, and most likely new announcements. New IPs. I don't know of any other sequels though that they could announce because it's too soon for Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Not unless if it's an IP, an old IP they haven't made a sequel for in a while. There is Deep Down. We haven't heard none of that, and I don't even know if they're even making that agent game anymore. Um, but I, as well as that, there's a good possibility to see COD there. You know how they have their usual deal with Sony and Red Dead 2, because Rockstar also has a deal with Sony as well. But I don't think they would show off just a story trailer or anything. I think if it's something, it will be like a gameplay trailer. But knowing how Rockstar is, though, we may see some official gameplay before E3, especially with all the news and info that's been pouring out over the past week or so. Um, Now, moving on to the Microsoft conference, hopefully a update on Crackdown 3, because as of right now, like, there is no, I haven't heard anything newsworthy about Crackdown 3 in a minute. So, and a lot of people are speculating that the game could be canceled. And for Microsoft's sake, I hope not, uh, because they need a console seller at this point. If they delayed the game and took their time with it to make it look like a console seller, play like a console seller, then fine. I want to see it in action. But if it's not an E3, I think it's safe to say it could be dead. Um, we already know about Halo, Gears, and Forza. Like, we know that it could be a Forza Horizon 4 to be announced, um, which I think that game is closest to a console seller right now that Microsoft is gonna get. Um, Same as Gears 5 or Halo 6, unless they do something different and have a God of War style of drastic change, then I don't see neither one of them being console sellers right now. Now, last gen, these franchises were console sellers, but now they're not. Um, and the Microsoft conference will take place June 10th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time, and 9 p.m. British Standard Time. Nintendo Direct. I mean, it wasn't too long ago they announced Super Smash Bros. Which, as a kid growing up, I loved Super Smash Bros. On the GameCube, I absolutely adored that game. Now, even though I would technically consider myself a Sony fan, I don't own the Switch. Really though, I don't have, I ain't got my money up like that to just go out and buy a Switch. But if I could, trust me, I would cop a Switch and I would play games like Mario Odyssey. I would even try Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Um, But I expect to see a gameplay reveal for Super Smash Bros. And I think if I was to get Switch, Super Smash Bros. Would be that game that I would cop before anything, because that's my favorite, one of my favorite uh, Nintendo games of my childhood. So easily to me, that would be the game that I would cop first. Um, and I've been hearing about another Legend of Zelda game that they could be working on. And the Nintendo Direct will be taking place June 12th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 5 p.m. British Standard Time. Now, in terms of third-party games, I predict that Anthem single-player footage will be shown up, could be showed off at Sony's press conference. Simply because since this is the game that uh, BioWare is supposed to be going all in on, and I know with all these reports that it could be a live service, always online Destiny clone. But BioWare don't need to make a game that's just like Destiny. They need to make a game that's not a clone or something. They need to be trendsetters and not a company that follows trends. And I think that if it does indeed have offline single player, it could be the saving grace for BioWare. But if it is an always online game, my hype for this game would drastically die, and I'd be scared for BioWare as a company, because the one thing that BioWare's business is founded on is single player. So it makes all sense in the world to add single player to a game that this company is supposed to be going all in on. Um, Borderlands 3, I mean, they showed off some early footage of that a while back. I could see that being showed off at Microsoft's event as well, since they have some sort of deal with them. The next Bioshock, I mean, that's been rumored to be in development, but I think since it's in early or mid development, from what I've heard, it may not be there at all. If it is, it may be like a brief teaser. You may have like an old school Bioware esque music playing, or a full on trailer or reveal. You know, we won't know until E3, but as of now, I think it's safe to say it will be there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think since Microsoft has a deal with Square Enix, um, I mean the game will be a multi-plat when it comes out, not like Rise of the Tomb Raider, where it was like a timed exclusive. But in terms of marketing, I think it will be shown off. Like I think what they could do is, I think what they'll do is they may have a, they could do this either way, have a trailer, have a story trailer, um, for the Microsoft conference, or have a gameplay trailer for the Microsoft conference, and also CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 will be at E3, thanks to a lot of teasers that all but confirms their presence at E3, with Cliff Blazinski, you know, glitched the screen out to have E3 show on the screen. I think that was pretty cool how we did that. From what I've heard, it will be an hour-long presentation, and if it's an hour-long presentation, then that's good lord. I could expect like either a full hour gameplay trailer, or I would say, I don't know, like a 55, you know, close to, we might as well say it's close to an hour minute gameplay footage, and then the rest of it be like a story trailer behind it, or like dev diaries after the gameplay showed off. um but I think it's safe to say it could come out this year. I hope it comes out this year. um but yeah, it's one of my most anticipated games of this year right now. Well, of E3, I ought to say. And then you got Square Enix's conference. Like I was saying, I think what they could do is have Shadow of the Tomb Raider have a story trailer at Microsoft's event. Then later on, for Square Enix's conference, which takes place June 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 o'clock Eastern, and 6 o'clock British time. Um, I think they could show off like at least like a 10-minute gameplay demo, maybe 15-minute gameplay demo of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and we could finally see what the Avengers project that they're working on. I hope it has single player. If not, I may not be interested in it. Um, Final Fantasy VII, maybe I think will be there as well. And with reports that the game has went through development hell, and that kind of makes sense because it's that remake was announced so long ago, and it kind of makes sense for it to have be in development limbo because as long as it's been announced, we haven't really heard much about it. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's a mystery what they could show off at Square Enix's conference. Um, and then there's the Ubisoft conference, which takes place the same day at 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. British time, which they've already announced the Division 2 will be there, and they've already announced the Crew 2, which is coming out this summer. They showed off a little bit of Beyond Good and Evil 2 recently, and they've been teasing Watch Dogs 3, even though they haven't made an official announcement for Watch Dogs 3 yet. Now with Beyond Good and Evil 2, I remember seeing the gameplay, and I ain't gonna lie, it still holds up. It still looks like it'll be this ambitious game that looks like it could be what Destiny wanted to be, or what No Man's Sky wanted to be, but failed to achieve that goal. Now, in terms of Watch Dogs 3, I hope it is coming out, which it makes sense for it to come out because I think that game comes out like every 2 years or so. So I think it makes all the sense in the world. And then reports of it could be going to London. Could be intriguing, especially for that locale of the world. It could be a swerve, and you could have another location to go to. Like I think it would be cool. Like if you went to another part, I would say like I would want to say like another part of California, like um, L.A. or maybe even a big city like New York City. Like if they constantly want to do these like big cities, I wouldn't mind them going to New York City or L.A. Maybe even Miami. Now Miami or Tampa Bay would be an interesting place. Um, Maybe even I would even take Orlando. Um, but in terms of the Crew 2, I'm not really hyped for it. Simply because um, one of the main issues that was with the first game is still gonna be in this game, and unless they will have it or not, but the one of the main issues will return from the first game to this one, which the first Crew was always online, and this one will always be online from what I know so far. Now I could be wrong, and it could have some offline single player to it, but as right now as it stands, if it will be always online again, then I wouldn't recommend nobody get the game. Just wait for reviews and see what people are talking about it. But the first one did poorly in reviews, and it was always online, and that's a problem when you have a game that's always online in an open world setting, and knowing that it could fuck up the servers, it could mess up the frame rates. It's just not a good combination. Always online, open world. Now for some games it works, but for a game like the Crew, it just didn't. Now there have been rumors and even teases of a new Splinter Cell game with Michael Ironside and Sam Fisher, making a guest appearance in Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is the most disappointing game of last year. Um, I think it's safe to say that they will be making another Splinter Cell. But please, and even though I love open worlds, as much as I love open world games, please don't make this one open world. if you want to make it open, just make it open. That's it. It don't have to be open world with a bunch of checklist shit to things to do. It could be linear story driven like it's always been. And even though I've never played the Splinter Cell game, I've always been interested in the franchise. But if they can make it open kind of like how God of War was. God of War is one of those games. It's not an open world game, but it's so damn good. It has so much content. It makes you feel like it's an open world game. If they were to do something like that, okay, that would be a dope concept. But if it isn't a full-on open world game, well, we know how typical Ubisoft open world games do. They have a checklist. Which in some games it isn't a problem. It wasn't a problem for me for Far Cry 5. It was sort of a problem with AC Origins, even though I think that game is great. It just had too much of everything, you know. But but other than that, like I'm still gonna be interested in. I'm still looking forward to it. And then there's Bethesda's conference, which takes place June 10th at 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern, and 2:30 a.m. British time. You've had Pete Hines tease a while back when he made a Hell on Earth reference talking about how they've been gearing up for E3 for the past 6-7 months. And it could be a tease for Doom. I made a video on that a while back. And Doom 2 could be announced, and if that's the case, I'm getting it day one. Because I absolutely loved the first Doom. That game was brutal. It was gory. It was great. It was absolutely great. I couldn't find no faults with it. It really didn't need that multiplayer though. I think it'd be nice. I think what it needs. It don't need the multiplayer. Like Doom does not need multiplayer. Because I think a lot of people said it was kind of ass. But I think it's safe to say that for Doom, if it gets announced, which I hope it will, I think it could take place on Earth. But we'll wait to E3 and see. Then there's Starfield that's been rumored heavily to be announced this year. I think it was supposed to be revealed last year, but they never did it. And their press conference last year was like 30 minutes long. But I'm hoping this year it will be announced. And if it is this Fallout like game in space, I'd be down to play it. I would be down to play it, play a futuristic game. I wonder if it would have some type of cyberpunk element to it. And then nobody's really touched on this, but Dishonored 3. The last Dishonored came out in 2016. And I gotta say, like, as much as I liked Dishonored 2, I liked the first game better. And I don't know if they would exactly come out with a Dishonored 3. Because I don't think, even though it's a great game and all, it's a good game and all, I don't know who I'll ask for it. Now, I would love a Dishonored 3 because I love the first two games. But if it gets announced, same as the others, I will get it. And a Prey DLC from what I've heard as well. I really, really, really enjoyed Prey. That was a underrated game of last year. And it came out last year. I think it came out last year. This time last year it came out. I remember playing the demo, enjoyed the hell out of it, and said, you know what, I'm getting this game. And I got the game, wasn't disappointed. Like, it was like a Dishonored game in space with a Bioshocky feel. You know what I'm saying? And we may not see a sequel to that, so like I would say next year, maybe a year after. And then finally we have the EA Play event, which is June 9th. This is gonna be the first thing to be seen at E3 at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern, and 7 p.m. British time. And I would think that a new Anthem trailer with possible single-player gameplay. Like I said, I think the single-player gameplay could either be showed off at Sony's conference or at their own conference. I think they could show off like a brand new story-driven trailer for Anthem, give us a reason to, get hyped for the game, and possibly, hopefully, reveal single-player content. the Battlefield 5 reveal, which I've been hearing that it could still be Bad Company 3, because somebody who works at DICE tweeted out, that that they're working on. I think he said something about they were working on Bad Company 3. Since then, he took that tweet down. He made his account private, and I hope he didn't get fired. but yeah, I think that's most likely to be showed off. That game has been rumored to be um it has also rumored to be taking place in World War II, which I'd be alright with it. I'd still play it, but I don't want them to go back to modern times. It's about time to do modern or do a futuristic Battlefield. I'd be down with that. The annual sports titles that they always come out with, which I'm done with Madden, by the way. I don't care how good it looks, how pretty it looks. They ain't gonna do nothing but have a fresh coat of paint on it. And also, finally, they need to work on a single player title, a single player only title, to win back fan bases. And I don't care who does it, whether it's the new game coming from Titanfall developers Respawn or somebody else that we don't know about, but they need a single player only title to win back fans. Because right now everybody says EA is the evil corporate people, the people who don't care about single player games. And you had Blake Jorgensen a while back says, well, if you can't make a lot of money off of it, you got to burn the bridge. But if they were to come out, or at least announce, a brand new single player only game that don't have multiplayer, that don't have no microtransactions, that's a get what you pay for type of game, then that would be ideal for them, and it could gain good PR and possibly gain back good loyal fans. Me myself personally, if they did that, I would be like, alright, what's the catch? But if there isn't no catch and it's a full price $60 game that's a single player only game, then I would be shocked. But with that being said, I've been rambling for 22 minutes. Good lord. With that being said, what do you guys think about my predictions? Do you agree with some of them? Do you not? Let me know your comments down below in the comment section, and tell me what your predictions are for E3. Let's talk about it for a little bit. If you enjoyed my video, smash that like button as hard as you can. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Tap the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all my content. You'll never miss a video. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.